Hello and welcome to this webinar entitled GDPR, International Transfers, Enforcement and Proposed Changes. My name, as you can see, is Keith Markham. I'll be your presenter for this session today. Let's have a look at the agenda. So if we look on here, we will see that the first thing we're going to talk about is the issue of applicable rules. So in this particular context, we're going to see that since the 1st of January 2021, there are now in fact two versions of the GDPR that we need to be aware of, the UK GDPR and the EU GDPR. And obviously it may be the case that both of those apply to you or a client, or just one of those applies. We're going to look at how that works initially. Then, when we've talked about the various rules and also the need to appoint a representative and how that works to some extent, we're going to move on to talk about international transfers of data. Now, there are lots of developments in this particular field. So, first of all, we're going to see that the UK now benefits from an adequacy decision provided by the European Union. We're then going to talk about the fact that the EU has produced new standard contractual clauses that are being phased in over the course of the next year or so. And finally, we're going to see that our own regulator has created or has begun a consultation that refers to something called an International Data Transfer Agreement, which is similar but not the same as the EU version. So we'll talk about all of those things. Next, we will talk briefly about the issue of enforcement. So we're going to be talking about one UK example and one EU example, but then we will spend a good chunk of time talking about this topic. Now, this particular session is being recorded 2 days after the Supreme Court finally handed down their decision in the notorious case of Lloyd and Google. And you won't get an enormous description of all of that today, but I will be putting in the key points. On another occasion, I suspect we may well have a whole hour session on compensation cases because it is highly topical. But today we'll look at the Lloyd and Google in brief outline and a couple of other cases as well. And then finally, we'll look at the fact that if that wasn't enough for you, ladies and gentlemen, the UK government is consulting on changing the UK GDPR and has produced quite a detailed consultation, and we'll see what the key aspects of that happen to be.